Would you guys like to discuss the movies that we talked about on the podcast, recommend movies for future episodes, or maybe even watch movies with us? Check out the Discord.
You can find the Discord on the latest episodes or on the website, theotherhalfpodcast.com. We're just hanging out chatting.
And while you're there, maybe also check out the second of the Discord, which is specifically for Ethan's streams on Twitch. You get updates as to when he goes live. Just keep up to date with us, with Ethan, the podcast, and the stream.
It's also totally okay if you just want to hang out and talk about the podcast. You can hang out there and maybe we'll see you there and watch a movie or something.
Or maybe you're like, wow, these streams are so much better, and you just totally ignore the podcast. That's also another option.
That could happen.
Why not?
Why not? The Discord is your oyster. Come join us.
The Discord is your oyster. Join it. Hey, I'm Mike.
Hey, I'm Ethan.
I watched the first half of Better Man.
I watched the second half of Better Man.
And this
is the other half.
Ethan, who is Robbie Williams?
He's a monkey.
He's a monkey man.
He's a monkey man.
Yeah.
He did that one song. It's like, na 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 na.
He did?
Na. I don't know. I think so.
I don't know.
I've
never heard of Robbie Williams.
I think he did do that song because he played it in the movie. So I don't know if he was covering it. Oh, no, that's not. That's a song by the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
I was going to say, isn't that another, like, yeah. It's weird how much other music is in this movie. Like, it is a musical. It is about, it is a weird biopic about a famous British pop singer called Robbie Williams. But there's a lot of music in this that just is like other people's music. I guess it's just because Robbie Williams is inspired by other people's music.
Yeah. He has a lot of his own music in here, too.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't think I could. I don't know. I was gonna say I don't know how you could translate something like this to like a jukebox musical on a stage. But honestly, you'd have a lot of problems other than just translating the story with the music. It's also the main character's played by a monkey.
Plays by a monkey. Yeah, you could have a person in a big gorilla suit running around or something like that. It'd be insane. You know,
like Frontier Psychiatrist.
Yeah,
music video, just a guy in a gorilla.
Exactly. It'd be crazy.
Whoa, what a choice.
But yeah.
This is such an expensive movie. Every single shot has some kind of crazy visual effect in it.
Yeah, because there's always a monkey in it.
And I'm
every
like,
shot.
What a choice. Truly, what a choice.
It is a ballsy movie.
It really is.
I'm just like, this flopped hard.
But
it's pretty fucking good.
Pretty great.
It's pretty fucking
Honestly,
good.
It's a better musical than Wicked, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, and it's a better biopic than Complete Unknown.
Complete Unknown. I agree with you. This should have been up for the Best Picture.
It should have. It's so much better. It's so much more fun. It has like it takes chances. It's like incredibly shot and it has amazing.
So good.
The editing in it is just so good. Everything about it is just like, this is what you should do with a biopic. And it's funny because it goes through a whole life, which we really usually don't like.
Yeah.
But the way it's constructed and the way it kind of tells its story is like not really super linear.
Yeah.
It's somewhat linear.
Well, it feels like a conversation you're having with Robbie Williams.
Yeah.
He's telling you about his life, which apparently is where the movie started. Robbie Williams was talking about his life to the director of this movie without even the idea that they would make a movie about him. And then the director was so enamored by the way he was telling his story that he's like, well, we got to turn your life into a movie, basically, which is an interesting thing because Robbie Williams is like not like dying or anything.
No, he's like in his 50s.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like not that old.
But yeah, no, I agree with you. It's a very strong choice of a film. I was shocked how much I liked.
Me too. Movie. I was shocked also the emotional impact it also
had.
Right? Like, I was
For
like,
a monkey.
Why cry the monkey? Why feel emotions a monkey? This is crazy.
Did you cry when his grandma died?
Yeah. How do you know his grandma died?
Because she's an old lady.
It's so obvious.
You introduced an old lady at the beginning of the movie.
But that's the thing is like so many of these beats are obvious. You know where the movie's going to go. Obviously, he's going to reconcile with people. He's going to get better. He's going to change his life around.
He's going to become a better man.
He's going to become a better man. But the way they go about it, and it's kind of hard to describe the way they go about it, but it's just really just the directing is so strong, the storytelling is strong, the way the visuals are shot, the way the music is put into each scene.
Yeah. The way each like musical sequence is constructed.
Yes.
From like just an editing perspective.
Yeah, and it's each song is relevant to whatever the character is feeling.
Going through at the time.
And going through the time, which even hits more because it's like he wrote this song.
Yeah.
So it like you said, it's like a musical, but the actual artist about it wrote the music in the moment, which is like really kind of a cool meta thing.
Well, it's the thing that I was just going back and listening to our Complete Unknown episode, and one of the things I kind of was talking about is like, oftentimes you'll see in like Bohemian Rhapsody, the example I give is like someone saying the title of a song that they end up writing offhand,
yeah.
and then a character going like, "Wait, what did you just say?" And then they write a song about that.
Yeah,
and then like Complete Unknown did the exact opposite, where we're not even going to focus on the decisions or the choices that were made about like the music that he's writing. Mm-hmm. This is an interesting way of going about it, where it's like you sort of understand why he wrote these songs about certain parts of his life, you know, like because we're talking about his life, we're talking about the events in his life. So it's like, yeah, like his dad was a piece of shit, so he's going to write a song about his dad's a piece of shit and he doesn't feel like he belongs, you know. It's like, or he fell in love with somebody, so he writes about falling in love.
It's already like, it's giving context to songs that already exist.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's like just such a cool way to go through like
it's a basic
biopic.
Obvious way
it's
of doing
so
it.
obvious like when you put it out there,
but it works.
It works so well. And I
go ahead.
I think this is directed by the same guy who did Rocket Man, right?
No, he did The Greatest Showman.
Oh, I thought he also. Oh, he wrote Rocket Man, I think, or something like that.
Okay, but I'm pretty sure it's the guy who only directed Greatest Showman.
Greatest Showman. Best part about that movie is the visuals. So.
I agree with you. Not the story or the main character.
No.
Historically,
it's true.
But yeah, I agree with you. I think there's a lot to enjoy here. So before we get into the story of the movie, I would definitely recommend. Shockingly,
just
checking
go
out
watch
this
the
film.
Monkey movie.
Go watch the Monkey movie.
It's a bizarre choice.
It really is, but it kind of pays off.
I
mean, it doesn't pay off in dividends as far as like profit.
No, I'm also wondering, like, I'm still like after watching it, do you think he need to be a monkey?
Yeah,
I think it helps ground kind of the different transitions in his life too. I think
it adds a level of vision. It does the same thing kind of like what we were talking about before with like it's a weird comparison, but like the other Bob Dylan biopic, where it's like you got to throw a little bit of like weirdness in there to try to like, you know, get us to understand what it must feel like to, you know, be a young artist growing up, you know, from poverty into becoming like a big movie star. It's like, yeah, you probably feel out of place. You probably feel like a monkey.
Yeah. Dance, monkey,
like,
dance.
I think, yeah. And I think adding that level of like surrealism to it honestly does, it's a very strange but very valid artistic choice. And I think it ends up actually making you care more. Also, I will say too, there's a little bit of like a Avatar, like, you know, James Cameron Avatar, like Disneyfication of like his eyes, where like because his eyes are so, they can control the way his like eye performances are, you can like empathize with him more than maybe if he was just like an actor. You know, they can animate and concoct the performance a little bit more.
Do you think he saw like Planet of the Apes and was like, I won't be that?
It is kind of strange. I was watching a little video about like how many of the like visual effects this year were given to like ape effects, because it was like this and then Planet of the Apes and then Wicked, and they all had like ape effects in it. It's weird how much monkeys are just popping up in I
think they're just easily relatable to humans, right? They're the most human like animal.
It's just weird where it's like, really, we're doing this much in a year? Well, all right, cool.
Yeah, that's fine. Monkeys, go monkeys, I guess.
Maybe in 10 years people are going to do some kind of like analysis on like why in 2024 did we see so many
just like why are there two ants or bugs movies about ants
about ants at the same year.
Same time.
We have to look into
it, you know, big meteors and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Like, why is this trend
Deep
going
Impact
on?
and
Armageddon,
yeah, that's right. So the movie opens with the question we're all wondering:
who is Robbie Williams?
And I'm just so glad the movie started out with that question.
Yeah,
because I was wondering the same thing. Who is this Robbie Williams? He's going to give us an entertaining, it says. Now, the one thing I will say about the movie, and it comes and goes, where like Robbie Williams, I think, is a relatively charming guy, but sometimes it really feels like he's trying hard to get us to like him or like think he's interesting or funny.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think you're as funny as you think you are. Like, I think sometimes you're just trying a little bit too hard for, I don't know. There's some moments like that.
Sure.
In my opinion, for the narration.
It's kind of hard to not be a little narcissistic when you're narrating your own movie about your own life and being like, who am I?
That is
kind of hard to really make that feel down to earth and grounded.
It's funny because I was watching the movie and my wife was like in the room with me and she's like, have you seen the video of him like singing at his pregnant wife like as she's giving birth? And I'm like, no. And she sent me this video that happened apparently relatively recently. His wife is like in like labor and he's standing next to her dancing and singing a song of his at her, and somebody's recording this and he seems very proud of it, and the wife is just sort of like, seemingly not very happy about it. So it's like, I think, it's like that level of narcissism where he's like constantly needing to perform for people.
Maybe.
Clearly he hasn't gotten that aspect in check. I don't know how much of a better man he is. He's not doing coke, I guess, anymore.
I guess that's true. He's improved from rock bottom.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe I guess it wasn't a good distraction. He was maybe hoping it would distract her. It didn't seem to.
No, it didn't seem to work. I guess that's the other kind of nice thing if you compare something like this to like Rocket Man, where Rocket Man was also, made with the help of, Elton John, and I guess like a complete unknown as well. It's like they don't shy away from the fact that like we were kind of messes, like at times,
It's true.
It's not necessarily. I don't think Robbie Williams is like proud of it, but he was willing to like show. Like,
unlike Bob Dylan, who's like, I didn't fucking get that award. I didn't get no Nobel Peace Prize. Fuck you.
I don't need that shit. So I wrote, there's no explanation as to why he's a monkey, but we flash back to when he's like a little kid, and we see a little kid monkey, and he's playing footy, and he's really bad at it.
Aww.
And they're like, you need to be the goalie, and this little kid monkey says, I'm gonna be like a chainmail condom, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
That kid's got some words. When do we learn those?
Yeah. He says, the narration says, my DNA is in cabaret. My DNA is cabaret. And apparently him and his dad sing Sinatra together. His dad's a cop, but he didn't want to be a cop. He wanted to be a singer or an entertainer.
Okay, should have done that.
I know.
What's a chainmail condom? Is that just like a Trojan, like a brand like Trojan?
No, it's a joke.
Well, chainmail? Like condom, like a condom with chainmail?
Yeah.
Like it's not a brand?
No, it's a joke.
Oh.
He's comparing himself to a condom made of chainmail. Nothing's going to get past him.
Because I don't think chainmail is a really good contraceptive
Definitely
choice.
not. Also, it does have like holes in it.
It's got tons of holes in it. Like you got like liquid there.
He's a little kid monkey. He doesn't know.
Doesn't know what cum looks like.
Yeah, just know what cum looks like. And so so his dad is a cop, and his dad tells him, is the little boy monkey. His dad says, "You're either born with talent or you're a nobody." His dad says,
"Wow, I can't like earn talent."
No.
I guess talent isn't earned.
Talent is inherited, or not inherited. It's intrinsic in you. Right? You have it or you don't.
Okay.
And he tells us this little impressionable little monkey boy, and Robbie Williams is.
How weird is it to have these like just goofy looking British people running around with this monkey kid?
The biggest thing too is the dad is played by this guy named Steve Pepperton, who's like a very famous, relatively famous British sketch writer and actor, comedian, who is famous from that show like Inside Number 9, which I really like. And so it's very funny watching him in this and just going like, are we supposed to take you seriously as like an abusive father?
This little monkey man.
Yeah, exactly. The little boy monkey says, I thought to be famous you had to be good, but turns out you just had to be cheeky. And so he performs as the Pirate King in Pirates of Penzance, and his mom and his grandma and in the audience, they love him. And he goes out, he comes out on stage and he immediately falls in his face, and everybody in the audience just was like, oh! And then he's like laying on the ground, and then he flops over and he's laying on the stage, and he's like, hello, y'all fancy me? Is this little boy, and everyone
Mike did a little
him.
like pose, like a little like I don't know how you even describe that pose,
like a supermodel pose.
Supermodel pose,
yeah, where he's like lying down, but his head is like being propped up by his hand and something like that. And so he's like really hamming it up on stage, and then he looks out on the stage looking for his dad, but his dad isn't there. See, his dad is performing stand up instead, and which is like,
I don't know, that's so funny.
It is this. I was like, oh, this is like,
he's probably playing music. No, he's playing stand up.
He's doing stand up, and he goes by the name Peter Conway, not the actual name, which is Peter Williams. And he ends up getting paid for it, and he ends up changing his last name, Conway, and he leaves his family to perform stand up. And I'm like, man, there's a lot of reasons to like leave your family. None of them are good, but like probably the worst reason is I went to like an open mic. People thought I was funny, and now I'm gonna go travel the UK with all my stand-up material.
That's pretty bad, dude.
I'm like, maybe do a couple more shows. I don't know.
That is probably the worst father origin story you could have.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And honestly, yeah, I'm like, oh, I understand why Robbie Williams is all fucked up.
Yeah. You left me to make jokes in front of people.
And so up until this moment, I'm just like, yeah, this movie is like pretty conventional. And then the first song, it's a little Robbie Williams, little Monkey Williams. He starts singing about how he wants to feel real love, and he imagines singing with his dad, and he takes his dad's jacket from the trash. This whole scene sung by this little boy as a CG monkey. And I'm like, I'm kind of feeling it a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm kind of feeling it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this movie got me. late title drop. Title drops now.
Oh,
and I'm
shit.
in, baby.
You're in.
I'm like, you hold that fucking title as long as you possibly fucking can. They did.
The longer you do it, the more Michael likes you.
I'm edging until that title drops. So then the movie is actually
gotta get that chainmail condom for that title. It's Mike's edging over here.
That's right. So we now have older Robbie. He's older, and he says he's going to be famous, but no one believes him. And he hangs out with his slacker friend named Nate. I don't know if you see Nate.
You do see Nate quite a bit, I think. I believe that's like his best friend. Yeah,
his best friend growing up. And you know, he's like, so Nate, are you going to go to those like tryouts? Are you going to go to practice for becoming like a good like football star, you know, because football over there is soccer. And Nate says, no, I have to wake up early. It's gonna take too much work. And Robbie's like, he's like, you have to do it. Like you have to be big and famous, right? And then Nate's like, well, I don't love it. I don't love playing, footy.
Yeah.
And Robbie says, who cares if you love it? What matters is that others love you doing it.
Oof,
ain't
that the motto of the whole thing?
Fucking for real.
Yeah.
And so then he hears that there are auditions for a boy band. Now, I don't know shit about Robbie Williams. Really didn't know he was apparently just part of a boy band.
Yeah.
Where we're basically getting here is like a British like Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, pretty much.
Story,
yeah,
basically.
it's basically that.
Did not know that.
No idea about that.
So he goes to auditions and he performs Sinatra for the talent agent. And but as he's doing the audition,
as songs he do.
I can't remember. It's like, I think it wasn't My Way, but it was something like that.
Okay.
He's
Your Way.
Your Way. Yeah. Monkey Man. So he's performing a Sinatra song, and as he's performing, he's imagining himself like on a stage, and he sees the person who's like gonna be their manager, who he calls a cunt. They say the word cunt a lot in this
movie. Really do.
And it's like,
British.
I thought they were just, I know it's British, but I'm just sort of like, man, I don't know why this movie didn't make a ton of money. Maybe it's because you have this fucking CG monkey running around saying cunt at people.
He really says a lot.
And so he calls him that. And so he's starting to sing, and he sees like the guy like in the bar, but then he starts getting negative self-talk, and he sees this younger version dressed up like the Pirates of Penzance monkey boy, and he's like, you're a fucking nobody. And Robbie starts like getting all in his head, and the talent agent is bored, and the talent agent is like, get out of here, I'm not interested in you. You know we're a pop band, right? We don't sing Sinatra, we don't sing the oldies. And so then Robbie's about to leave, but just right before he leaves, he stops at the door and he looks back at the manager and he says, should I go tell the rest of those people to fuck off? And then he winks at him. And then Robbie says, that is why I'm here today. That wink, that confidence, that cheekiness is why I'm here today, ladies and gentlemen.
He's getting rewarded for being kind of a douchebag.
Exactly. And he does end up with, so then he goes home and he's expecting a call from his agent, and his grandma's there, and his grandma's like, it's okay, honey, you're gonna get a call one day. I believe in you.
His grandma's so fun.
His grandma's great. I love his grandma.
Yeah.
And she's just like, I believe in you. And then all of a sudden they get a call, and he's like obsessing. He's like, they should call me back. It's been like 5 hours. They need to call me back. And then he gets a call, and he goes to pick it up, and he picks it up, and it's his dad. And his dad, he always calls him Youth. I don't know if you heard this in Raft. He never calls him Rob or Robbie or
son.
Or son. He just calls him Youth.
Or my child.
Nope. He calls him Youth. And he's like, hey, you wanna come visit me? You wanna come over and meet up with your old dad? And he's like, of course, Dad. Of course I want to meet up with you. And at first you're like, oh, maybe he just wants to reconnect. It's been a while since he's left the family. But no, he just needs someone to help hold a stage light for his performance.
Wow.
So Robbie ends up doing that. He ends up holding the stage light for his dad's stand-up show. And then another musician comes up, and Robbie tells his dad, like, I failed all my exams. Mom's going to kill me. Like, I don't know how to tell her about my exams. Like, I'm a complete fuck up. Like, I've got no future, basically. And his dad is like, well, you need to learn from this. And Robbie's like, yeah, of course I'm going to learn from this. I'm going to work harder. And he goes, no, you got to learn from that guy up on stage. He's really good. He's a really good singer.
God.
So then Robbie goes home, and he's about to tell his mom. He's like, Mom, I got something to tell you. And Mom's like, no, let me tell you first. You got in the boy band.
Oh, shit.
And Robbie says, narrated, he goes, and I never told my mom that I failed all my exams, except now. Sorry, Mom.
Oops.
So we meet the band.
Uh-huh.
Do you know the band, anybody in the band's names?
No, but I know it's Take 5. This band never appears again in my half.
I never heard of Take 5.
No.
So you just hear about Take 5.
I hear about Take 5.
Okay. So we've got
not a bad band name. Seems like it could have been in that Turning Red movie as the boy band.
It does feel like that, doesn't it?
Because it's like I've never heard of them. I'm sure they exist, but
I'm sure they do. Clearly they do.
Yeah.
So we've got Howard. He's strong. We have Jason. He's a dancer. We have Mark. He's nice and lovely. And then we've got Gary Barlow, who is a great musician, but he's bad at dancing. None of these motherfuckers show up in your half of the movie. Gary, Mark, Jason, and Howard.
Not that I'm aware of. I don't remember them anyway. There's apparently another band called Take 5, which is an American boy band from Orlando, Florida.
I bet they were trying to like cop.
Maybe they just named it the same thing.
Yeah, probably. Are there 4 members?
There are 5 members.
Seems weird that you would have a 4. Wait, it's not 4 members. It is 5 members, right? Because there's also Robbie. Jesus Christ. Yeah, there are. I was like, why is it called Take 5? There's only 4 people.
Yeah.
They all get to meet each other, and then the manager says, "Look at each other. In 5 years, we'll all hate each other, but we'll be rich." And then the manager gives everyone backstories. And he says, his name's Robert, but he says, "Robert, you're going by Robbie now." And then on the narration, Robbie tells us, he says, "I always hated that name, but it became a character for me, and it was the best thing that guy ever did for me, was give me the name
it was Take
Robbie."
That. That was not the band. It was
Take
called,
That.
Not Take 5.
You know what's really funny is I was just about to get to the name where it says Take That in all caps.
Oh.
So, yeah, so it's called Take That.
I said Take 5 because I think there's 5 people in it.
Exactly.
We invented a better band name.
We did.
We're going to tour it in Orlando, Florida.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
So at first, Take That is only performing at gay clubs. And Robbie Williams' gay clubs became his promised land because they were non-judgmental and they just, accepted him for the way he was. And he says, "I'm not gay, but like they just accepted me for who I was and they appreciated my singing and my dancing."
Unlike your dad, who was like, "You got to figure out this. You got to get better. You got to hold this light, kid."
Everyone, basically. Even people back at home. He even mentions, like, if anybody back at home sees what I've become, they're gonna judge me because he grew up, in a pretty rough neighborhood. And so they play for gay club after gay club after gay club. This is a fucking incredible shot where you're just like in a limo as they fly through the city with
montages
lights.
Are so cool.
It's so
it's
fucking
like the
cool.
best montage I've seen in a long time.
Every single, like, truly almost every single shot. Maybe it's also because they had to like really figure out every shot to make sure that like that monkey looked good enough.
That is a good point.
Like
you kind of have to like, plan it out. Yeah,
but it did a great job. And so yeah, it's a great job. But then they start playing for a club full of girls, and all the girls love them. And the manager after the show, he's like, he hears, I guess, that Robbie was talking to the press. The manager hears that Robbie was talking to the press, and he goes, "You're easily replaceable, Robbie. I can get anybody named Robbie and replace you with him." And I'm like, I don't know why he did that. Maybe just to like
keep him in line.
I guess so.
Yeah,
and
make
then
sure it doesn't cause any problems with these ladies.
Well, that's what he says too. He says, "So here's the rules, guys. No touching, no dating, no getting numbers. We have to make sure that you guys come across as like attainable."
Available.
Thank you. And so they're all very upset about that. And of course, Robbie cannot take that seriously. So in the very next scene, Robbie's getting a hand job in a club from some lady.
Nice.
And then behind the lady is the manager. And this scene made like no sense to me. I actually watched it like twice because I was like confused. So the lady's giving him a hand job, and then the lady like stops giving him a hand job, and then Robbie starts just like stroking himself off in the bar or whatever, or like in the club. Dude. But then he's looking at the manager, and he's just like jerking himself while looking at the manager. And then
it's a power play.
It's a weird power play. And then he says something weird. He says, "This was the first time the manager ever saw a wanker bigger than him," or something like that. It was a weird scene. But then that lady that was jerking him off apparently has a dad who's a record producer.
Okay.
And the dad is like, "Well, apparently my daughter was a big fan of you guys, and and sounds like you got some skin in the game.
Hey.
And so we're gonna give you guys a chance, even though we think boy bands are on the way out." So then comes the scene everyone's been talking about in this movie, the one long unbroken take where they leave the record.
I didn't know this was the one scene everyone's talking about.
Oh, is there another scene everyone's talking about?
I don't know. I feel like I haven't heard many people talk about this movie, but I feel like there's other scenes that people would talk about.
This is the scene I think everyone's talking about from like a filmmaking perspective.
Sure,
because apparently it was a big fucking problem. I read up a bit about this. So it also takes place on like a relatively famous street in Britain. They really shot it on the street in one night. And you have the actors in all the different costumes throughout Take That's entire career, showing, you know, the progression of. It's obviously not really one unbroken take because there's a lot of like hidden cuts, but obviously it took a lot of like manpower and hours and planning. And apparently it also is owned by the Crown. And so they had to go to like the Crown, the Queen and all that and get approvals. And so they finally got approvals and the day came when they were going to shoot and then the Queen died. And so they're like, well, we probably should shoot this scene. So then they had to cancel and wait a couple more months until they felt ready again. And so, but they still had to pay everyone for that time. So they lost a ton of money getting this one shot, basically. Yikes. But honestly, I know it wasn't worth it in like the long, as far as like monetarily, but it's a pretty fucking awesome shot of them just like bouncing around, having a great time. There's like really cool shots of them just like dancing. It's great. It's a really cool shot. I really don't know how to describe it other than it's amazing and it's one.
Yeah, but it basically describes them going through
the popularity
of
which is also another cool thing, right? Because usually you'd see a montage of like people dancing, they'd cut, you'd see like them
a newspaper saying concerts, like blah blah blah, they've won $1,000.
What's another way of getting this across? Having them all do one song together and showing off the different, you know, looks that they had and different, you know, I'm like, that's a cool fucking way of doing that. That's an interesting way. So then it's now Robbie's famous, you know, now he's in a big boy band and all the girls love him. And so Robbie's at home and he's wearing sunglasses and he's smoking indoors sitting next to his grandma and his mom's at the window and his mom's very upset because of all the attention. And his mom says that she's going to have to shut down her delivery business. That's what she does now for a living. She has to shut down her delivery business because people are following her around and it's hurting the business. And Robbie's like, nah, he doesn't care. He's just like, whatever. I'll just buy us a bigger mansion. I'll buy us a mansion when I have the money. But then his mom is like, what? Buy a bigger mansion for us to hide in? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's what it is. But then his mom like closes the blinds, the curtains, and then narration. Robbie says, and my mom kept those curtains closed for 10 years. He says,
damn.
Like, I know. And then his grandma.
British people are weird. Like, why are you going to harass the mom so much? You know? Like,
I agree. But that's also where he lives, because the thing. Apparently, he's not making as much money as Gary is, because Gary's the one that's writing all the songs. So he's actually getting more money than Robbie is. Robbie's still like living with his mom, and his grandma. And his grandma says he's like, Robbie, where did you go? Where did my little Robbie go? And she like pushes up Robbie's sunglasses, and we see like his eyes, and then Robbie says, I never left. And he like pushes his sunglasses down and then he goes up to the window and he's like opening the curtains and there's this crazy shot. And I'm like, again, it's like, it's not even like that crazy shot. It's a pretty good shot, but like knowing that this is all done in CG is like really cool. Or like there's like all these flashes outside of the window and it's all on like the monkey's face. He's wearing sunglasses. And as the like camera lights are flashing, you see his eyes behind the sunglasses and he looks terrified. And he says, I can't stop, Grandma.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty great. So Gary, the guy who writes all the music for Take That, sees Robbie writing lyrics. And Gary is a dick. And Gary, honestly, I don't know who this fucking Gary guy is. I feel like he should probably lodge some like legal complaints.
Oh yeah,
because he comes across really bad in this movie.
Maybe he was a dick.
Or maybe he's dead. And they can do this. You know?
Yeah, who cares?
So Gary's like, Robbie, you bring nothing to this. Remember that. You're just a funny singing and dance guy. I'm the musician here.
Okay.
And Robbie's like, okay. So, and then they hard cut to Robbie in a recording booth, and he can't hit the note. He can't sing right. And he's starting to struggle with depression. And the narration says, I'm struggling with depression. And he says, I hate that phrase. I prefer clinically depressed because it sounds doctory.
Oh, okay. Gary's alive, by the way.
Gary's alive?
He's 54 years old. He's just chilling.
I'm sure he's doing well because we learned that he's very rich.
Yeah, he seems like he's doing okay.
Yeah, he probably is like, cry me a river that I was a dick to you all those years ago.
Yeah.
I'm living the high life. And so Robbie just keeps drinking and drinking and drinking. And then he goes back to his hotel room. And inside his hotel room is his dad.
Oh shit, he came back.
And his dad is in there, and also a young girl is in there too, like a I want to say like a 19, 20-year-old girl is in there. That clearly his dad wants to bang. So his dad basically was like, hey, you know, I'm the father of Robbie Williams. Do you want to get a photo with him? And she's like, yeah, I'd love to get a photo with him. Clearly, the dad's just trying to like get in her pants. And then the lady like goes away, and Robbie and his dad are like sitting on the bed together, and his dad sees that Robbie's taking like depression medication, and he's like, "What have you to be depressed about? You're rich, you're famous, like you've attained everything I've always wanted."
Yeah.
And Robbie's like, "But I don't know who I am." And then Robbie's dad is like, "You don't know who you are? Everyone out there is shouting your name. They all know who you are." You know, so it's like you get meaning from other people giving it to you rather than from within.
Exactly. But they also just like him as a performance.
That's
right?
very true too.
Because he's always performing. He's always hamming up. He's always being cheeky.
Speaking of which, we now hard cut, and Robbie apparently is passed out on stage during a performance. And everyone's really upset at him, and his manager berates him, and he has to perform well, all messed up, so he starts like fucking up the dance moves, and he can't really like keep up, and his costumes get all fucked up, and then the dance ends, and they all go backstage, and he's slowly starting to wake up, and then he comes back on stage and steals the mic away from Gary, and he starts singing on stage for the first time, and everyone's very upset about it except for the audience.
Wait, they never sang before?
He has never sang solo before.
Oh, okay.
He's always ever been a background singer.
Gotcha.
And so this is the first time singing solo. And it's a song he was singing earlier in the recording booth. Now he's singing it on stage in front of all these people, and he's killing it, and everyone loves him.
Oh, shit.
Except for Gary, of course. Gary's like, that's
it's my bloody song.
And so we learned that because Gary writes all the songs, he gets all the money. Robbie still lives with his mom. And the band call Robbie in to meet up with them after this like performance and him getting like knocked out. And so Robbie shows up, and he's like on like a swing, and all the other band members are on chairs, including one of the band members who's wearing like dreads. And I'm like, you're a white man. You don't need
Yeah, that was really big in the 2000s.
It clearly was.
Yeah.
And so they're like, hey, so I think that we should tour with just the four of us. I don't think you need to be on our tour anymore.
We're going to be take 5 and go back to take 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Take that, take 5.
We're taking you out of here. And so Robbie's like, he acts like it's not a big deal, and he steals a watermelon from them. And then he gets, does the watermelon come back into play?
Comes back.
Well, there you go. So he steals the watermelon, he puts the watermelon in his car, and he starts driving. And this, up until then, I'm like, this has been a pretty enjoyable movie. There's one moment early on that was pretty great, but like this movie's not doing anything special. This is the scene that turns the tide. This is the scene where I'm like, oh my God. So they're
cooking.
They're cooking.
Yeah.
So he's in the car, and he starts singing the song Come Undone, which is, I think, about, how he's going through depression and how his dad doesn't love him and how nothing has meaning to him anymore. And he starts driving recklessly. And like, he's driving through the rain. He's driving, and he's trying to drive into oncoming traffic. And he keeps like avoiding the traffic at the very last second. He keeps closing his eyes and then opening them again. And like, this scene was so fucking intense the way it was edited. You're seeing him in the rearview mirror. You're seeing him from the outside of the car. You're seeing like all of this pain and suffering that's going on in him. And finally, he drives off the side of the road, and he falls into water. And then as he falls into the water, out of the bubbles, he's surrounded by fans. And the fans turn into piranhas, and they start eating him alive. There's blood everywhere. And then he like reaches the top of the water, but the water's frozen over. And then he breaks through the ice, and the ice turns into reporters. And all the reporters come in, and they all start like flashing photos at him. And over the narration, it says, I had a cocaine habit. I was an alcoholic. I was 21 years old. And he says, everyone hates me, and I hate myself. And I wrote down, this scene is so fucking good. What the fuck is going on? This shit was incredible. I'm like, take notes, John Chu.
I think that's the thing is, it's like they use so much money in this movie to do insane batshit scenes.
But it's also so effective. Like,
yeah.
You see people throwing money at scenes, and then it's like you feel nothing.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about Robbie Williams.
No, I've never heard of this fucking guy.
Don't know who he is. He's played by a CG monkey. I've never heard this song before in my life.
Yeah.
I am feeling it. I am transported. I am with this man.
I am monkey.
I am monkey. So I was
Apes
like,
stronger together in good movie.
You bastards, you blew it all up. So then we cut, and it's the New Year's party. It's a New Year's party, and they're on a boat.
The New Year's party. It's the last one.
It's the very last one. It's a New Year's party. They're on a boat. Robbie's all by himself. He's sitting on the end of the boat, and everyone's counting down to 1. Everyone kisses each other, but Robbie's all by himself. He doesn't kiss anybody. and he's looking out in the water, and he's talking to himself, and he's just like, this part kind of felt relatable to me, where he's just sort of like trying to motivate himself into like, he's like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna do it. Like, I gotta be a solo success. I gotta do all this stuff. Like, he's trying to like get himself all motivated, but he's like talking to himself. He's like, I'm gonna be big. I'm gonna be massive. It's gonna happen for me. And then there's this lady that comes up. And by the way, this is a New Year's party. It's like a masquerade party, so everyone's wearing masks.
Oh, okay.
And it's very funny to imagine, like, I wonder who that monkey guy is.
I know, right? Kind of breaks the illusion a little bit.
A little bit. But so he's wearing the mask, and then this lady's wearing a mask, and this lady comes up to him, and the lady's like, hey, so what are you doing over there? And he's just like, well, you wouldn't understand. And she goes, oh yeah, try me. And he goes, well, I'm in a boy band. And she like starts laughing. He goes, yeah, I know. I wasn't a boy band. I'm not a boy band anymore. I'm a musician. I'm a solo musician. And he's like, I don't know what to do, because I feel like everywhere I look, people don't understand me. They don't care about me. And I feel like I got to prove to people that, you know, who I am. And he goes, but you wouldn't understand. And she goes, I wouldn't? And he goes, well, I don't think so. And then she takes the mask off. And this part is so fucking funny, because she takes the mask off. The movie acts like we're supposed to recognize who she is. But I don't know anything about like British pop stars.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm just like, wow, it's a lady. And then he has to tell us that's apparently very famous.
At least you know.
British pop star Nicole Appleton, who was also she was a member of a girl band called All Saints. So she can relate.
Wow.
She understands better than anybody what he's going through, basically. And so then on that, and so up until then, I'm like, okay, maybe that last musical sequence was like a fluke, you know? Maybe it was just a mistake. No. Then the next musical sequence happens, and it's the two of them on the back of the boat, and they start singing together, and they start dancing together. And he starts singing about how she's the one, and then she starts to come into it as well. And then through this sequence, we see them fall in love. We see them move in together. We see him propose. We see her get pregnant. We see her forced to have an abortion because she's in a girl band, and it's bad for yeah.
Holy shit,
and it goes through it all, and it's gorgeous and tragic.
Nothing is said, right? There's no actual words.
It's all just the music, and it's all the lyrics, and it all just works. It all just flows into each other.
Damn.
And they keep cutting back to them, their first night together on that boat, them dancing. He's picking her up. She's flipping around, and then they cut back, and they're in a room together with like a half-made crib, and she's crying, and it's like fucking beautiful and tragic, and he's a monkey! He's a fucking monkey, and I'm like, I care.
It's true. It's true.
It's crazy. And so I wrote down, wow. So that scene ends, and
this scene's bananas.
It truly, it is quite appealing.
Yeah.
So Robbie, that scene is over now, and she's still in the girl group, but she just had to have that abortion. And Robbie hangs out with his old friend Nate. Nate's back. Old Nate, and he says he's going to be a dad. And now nobody knows about the abortion. So this is really painful to hear. Robbie's very painful for it to hear that, like,
yikes.
He's going off and he's becoming a man and he's attaining all the stuff that Robbie
stuff
one day wants to attain, but he can't. And he's at a party for his girlfriend and her group.
Maybe that's why he's singing it. His wife. He's just like, man, I really was excited to be a dad, but
now apparently it's a different lady.
No, I
guess that's true though. Yeah, he's still very happy to have a baby, but also it's not really about him in this moment.
Yeah, that's true.
So he's at the party with to celebrate. They're going gold. They end up going gold. His girlfriend ends up getting the biggest hit. I guess wife actually, because they're married. She ends up getting the biggest hit.
They're married.
I think he proposes. Maybe she. Oh yeah, maybe they're not married. Maybe they're just like fiance.
That makes sense.
And
did you see her in a dress, a white wedding dress?
She's not in a white wedding dress. And so he's there to like support her, but then he sees Liam from Oasis.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
we know who that guy is.
Yeah. Well, we don't know who Oasis is.
Oasis. Yeah, they crossed over.
That's right. They did. They moved over the pond. Yeah. That was the Wonderwall.
Yeah.
And so like he's like leaves his girlfriend's party to go hang out with Oasis, which honestly is like, I don't know. That's kind of a hard. I would at least tell her like, hey, there's Oasis in the other room. Can I go hang out with Oasis?
Yeah.
So he goes and hangs out with Oasis, and they're immediately such dicks to him. They're immediately shitting on him. He doesn't give a shit. He just like throws it back. Apparently, historically, it sounds like him and Liam did not get along very well, pretty famously. But in this moment, they're actually, even though Oasis is shitting on him and calling him like a boy band bro who doesn't know shit about music, they end up going like, hey, you want to tag along with us and hang out? And he ends up going with them.
Oh.
And that's the end of my half of the movie.
Oh, okay. All right. This puts a lot of things in perspective because, like, I didn't really know what section I was coming in at. Like, I didn't know where Robbie Williams was in terms of his fame or anything, so I assumed he was already, like, kind of making it, right?
Not yet.
Didn't really sound like he is.
He was making it, and now he's trying again to get into... He's trying to become a solo star, but he hasn't really gone out yet.
That kind of makes sense what the next things that transpire.
Like what?
Well... He's drunk. He comes home from the fridge. He's talking about like, oh, you're number one. Oh,
doesn't he have like a cake or something? He's like a piece of cake in the fridge.
He might be eating a piece of cake.
That piece of cake looks so good. That's all I remember. Is that the cake looked really good. I'm like, yeah, I've been that drunk before.
Yeah, there's somewhere you come home drunk. You're like, what's in the fridge? Oh fuck yeah,
cake.
Fuck, dude,
hell
that sounds good, dude. I want something. Really hoping I want something rich as shit. Let's go. And he comes. He sits down. And he's like, oh, hey, you're number one. You're number one.
He's super jealous of her.
And he's like, also, he's super jealous as he starts saying, you're number one. You know, you always talking all that bullshit about family, right?
Oh,
you know,
that's mean.
Did you ever tell him that you gave up your family to get to number one? And I didn't know what that meant.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was just like, oh, you just were like, I'm leaving mom and dad. It's like, oh, no, you gave up like.
She had to. Also, she didn't want to.
No, that's the thing. That's different.
She was forced to do that.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
And she says, I don't care what they think. I don't care what they think at all. But the problem with you, Robbie, is you care what everyone thinks. Mm-hmm. In fact, that's actually what you care about the most. She's like, shut the fuck up. And they get in a huge fight.
Yeah.
And she storms off.
You should never fight a monkey. It'll rip your eyes out.
Lose.
Yeah.
Really bad stuff. So what's weird is he's hanging out with grandma, but it seems like a flashback because I felt like he was graying, but I couldn't tell if he was graying because maybe the blue light of the TV he was in front of.
Probably, yeah.
It might have been that, but he looked like he was gray.
Actually, one thing we have to talk about. How good is his monkey effect? It's pretty good.
It's weird because it doesn't look real.
Yeah.
But the emotions, I think, overpower that and bring you back in.
You know what it is? Is they put eyebrows on him.
Yeah, they put little eyebrows on him.
Monkeys don't have eyebrows.
Yeah, they modify him a little bit.
Yeah, to make him look like Robbie Williams.
Yeah, or a human, yeah. But he's hanging out with grandma, and mom comes up to him and is like, "You need to visit more often because grandma's slowing down." And grandma's like, "Oh, we're talking about." He's like, "Have you seen Dad at all?" And he's like, "No, he's been radio silent since I left the band." And then grandma's like, "Oh, well, he's great to see you again." And Robbie's like, "Oh shit, like really? Like he's gonna see me?" And she's like, "Well." Because I told him to.
Oh.
And then she starts getting extremely sad and starts crying about like what she realized that she's not like it's not really helping, telling him to do that.
Right.
And she gets sad. So then
and you get sad.
And I get sad. No, not really. I was like, I don't know who this lady is. And then Robbie's cut to him talking to like a pianist, I guess like a songwriter.
A pianist?
A pianist, yes, exactly. He's too much hand jobs with like chainmail condom. And he's rapping to the pianist. And I was like, is Robbie Williams like a rap guy? Like, why is he rapping? And the pianist is like, this isn't working. You're like, we gotta stop. And he's like, listen, it sounds like the lyrics you've written are only lyrics you want other people to hear. Mm-hmm. And he says, songs are only valuable if they cost you something.
Ooh.
And he's like, all right.
I love that.
Robbie looks into his book and he says, please don't laugh. I dent easily.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts singing a song. He starts singing the song "Something Beautiful," which I think is one of his biggest hits.
Mm-hmm.
And
how does it go?
Something beautiful.
You're beautiful.
I don't know if it's that.
No, it's not.
I don't think it is.
It is not. I know.
And then they're like, he sings like a little bit, and you're like, oh, did the guy write it? And the dude was like, dude, this is good. We got to double the chorus. We got to figure out how to do this. Like, play it one more time.
Yeah.
The actual, like, the songwriter or the guy writing the music, like, loves it. And they do have a montage of them writing songs together. This camera spins around. It shows the day going through, and they're teleporting all over the place as they write stuff. It's very cool. And then they go to a concert, and they announce him up front. They're like, X, take that bad boy. Robbie Williams is here. And there's a guy named Chris Briggs. I guess he's the manager of him now.
Right.
He's like, oh, he saw something. Even through the drugs and the booze, he knew he can do it. And they're all like, you got to play Nebworth. That's the thing to play. They ever bring up Nebworth beforehand?
Never.
Nebworth is like the thing. He's like a big festival, basically,
I have no
that they got to
idea
play. I feel like every movie biopic's like, you got to play this thing.
You got to play at the Newport, the folk festival.
Exactly. Can you imagine Robbie Williams there? That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
He'd kill
They'd
everyone.
boo him immediately.
Everyone would die.
Yeah. From a heart attack.
From a heart attack. And yeah, so he starts, he he like starts playing and singing. Everyone loves it. He goes out in the crowd and starts killing it. But then he's like, he sees a bunch of like monkeys and stuff out in the audience. Have you seen this?
Yes, that's his negative self-talk.
Yeah, his negative self-talk.
That's different parts of him. Yeah.
And they
Imagine if there wasn't, if there was just other monkeys out there.
And they keep saying, "You're gonna die. You're on your own." And he's down. He like gets real sad about it. But then it's a montage of him being like, "Fuck it, I gotta get rich. I gotta get famous."
Yeah.
It's a montage of him going crazy. And this montage is so fucking cool.
Yeah,
he's
tell
got
me about
cocaine. He's rocking out on the stage. Cuts to him with like a ton of naked ladies on this monkey. And I'm just like, what's going on?
Does it look cool?
It's very cool. He goes back home. It says, "I've been told I'm Rare of the Year," according to British people. And yeah, he keeps looking out in the crowd though. Every time he's like playing, he's like, "Yeah, I'm
more
ripping it." And
monkeys.
there's more monkeys in the crowd. And he keeps seeing monkeys. They're all like, "We're gonna fucking get you, bro. We're gonna fucking get you, bro. We're gonna get you."
A team where a planet where pupsters have evolved from men. It's a madhouse.
But like, this is the part where I was like, "Oh, we're cooking here." There's something here because I mean, this montage is so well. It's been so long since you see a good montage.
Amen, brother.
Where it's just having
you know
so
what the
much
last
fun.
good montage we saw was the fucking Rocky 4, probably.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just, they just don't make fun montages anymore. They're too
They
informational,
don't.
and it's like this movie trusts the audience to be like, "You can put it together, right?"
Yeah.
Like you get the gist of it. You know,
Yeah.
you don't like fully get what's going on. You can understand the main gist of it. And that's
It's
fine.
anime. It's editing to the vibes and emotions.
Exactly.
And that's what's important. Yeah.
Exactly. And he starts getting more and more famous, and then it says, "The winner is," I guess it's like an award show. It says, "The winner is Robbie Williams," and then it cuts to him, and he's on a dance floor, fucking passed out, and all these people you see all these feet of people dancing. And he's just fucking strung out and drugged out on the floor. Yeah, and let's see. It says Robbie keeps saying he's regretting hanging out with his family. He goes to the Brit Awards in 2002, and he's gonna perform there. And of course now more monkeys are in the crowd.
So many monkeys.
And like I guess he does a performance. It's good. Everyone likes him. And he comes back down and like
Except for the monkeys. The monkeys
his
don't
managers
like him.
don't like him. But the manager and his dad appear. His dad's back in the picture now.
Yeah.
I didn't know who his dad was, so he's just like
so what do you
another
think
guy.
this guy was? You saw
I thought he
him.
was another manager.
Yeah.
Which I think.
That's how big Robbie is. He has 2 managers.
Well, also it just kind of goes to show, like, yeah, I mean, it could have been that.
Yeah, exactly.
And just kind of shows the relationship he has with his dad. His dad's more of a manager than a dad.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And you know, his dad's like, "You outshone Tom Jones, lad. You're doing great." And guess what? I have amazing news. Guess who's playing Nebworth next summer? And like, he should be happy.
Yeah.
I was just like, "Oh, okay, cool." And like, it comes with a new record deal. And he's like, "Yeah." And his dad's like, you're bulletproof." I was like, you know, I don't know if I can carry it. Like, I don't know if I'm ready to like carry Nebworth. I don't think I can do it, Dad. He confronts him in his like private backstage green room or whatever.
Right. And what does
And
his dad say?
His dad says, you're no nervous. Why don't you have a little liquid courage? It always helps me.
Oh, boy.
And Robbie says, "Don't I know it?" And his dad points at 3 people. Have you seen the 3 people he points at? Have you seen these 3 people?
No, I don't know who these
I
three
didn't
people
recognize
are.
all. One of them was definitely Frank Sinatra. I think the other one is Bobby Darin.
Yeah, Bobby Darin. He liked Bobby Darin a lot.
And there was another guy. like-
Elvis?
No,
I guess you know
it
if
was
it
a
was
black
Elvis.
guy, so I don't remember who it was.
I don't know
So
who it is, yeah.
unfortunately, because they never mentioned him.
Yeah.
So they're just like, okay, and I'm not gonna like Google like lens his face or whatever. Or I should have maybe done that. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And yeah, so yeah, big legends. And he says, "You know why these people are legends? All 3 of them here. You know why they're legends? Because they make other people's problems go away." Which is poignant because Robbie can't make his own problems go away.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
And then Dad just like leaves. And Robbie gets a call from his mom on his old phone. He sees the phone like buzzing on bzz, bzz, bzz.
Right.
And he looks at it and he sees it's from his mom and he just fucking snorts cocaine right next to the phone and ignores it.
Hell yes, dude. I want a monkey snort coke.
Yeah. Boy, he does some
You
stuff.
do kind of start to forget that it's a monkey.
You do
after a
kind
while.
of, yeah. Like he blends in. Like at first, like, what the fuck? And then
I saw like this interview with Robbie Williams, and everyone's like, "Why did you do this?" And he's just like, "You forget it's a monkey after a while." And I'm like, if you told me that, I would believe you. But
yeah.
you do.
You do. You're just like, oh, it's just him.
You're just like, that's what Robbie Williams looks like, I guess.
Yeah, honestly, when I saw him, I'm like, ew, put the monkey back.
Oh, so he actually shows up at the end of the movie.
No, I just looked at him up at like
Oh, you
his,
looked
like
him up on
his
it,
wiki,
yeah.
and I was like, what is
That's
it?
not a monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just a weirdly attractive British man.
Honestly, it also kind of works like if you find an actor that doesn't look like you, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
The monkey look like you.
The monkey looks like you.
Yeah.
So Robbie's now getting interviewed on like a talk show at his Parky, I guess, is a famous British talk show, I guess, at the time.
Oh yeah.
And
Parky, I love Parky.
You love Parky, and
we
we see shots of
innocent men.
Yes, exactly. We see shots of Nate, who I didn't know at the time. He's like, showing his kid. He's like, "That's Dad's best mate. He's on TV. Look."
Aww.
And then he gets up there. Robbie gets up there, and he goes, "Hey, hold on, I gotta do this first." He goes up to the guy and says, "Nan, look, it's Parky. It's great." He's like, "Oh, my mom and my grandma." And we cut to his grandma, and she's watching, no expression. Doesn't care. Doesn't know what she's doing anymore.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Ready for some shit, bro?
Sure, man. I can't wait. Sure, it's going to be great.
It's going to be great. So
good vibes only.
They keep talking about stuff, and, Parky's like, "Oh, how's it sound? You're getting like £80 million contract. You got a massive contract." And Robbie just looks around and yells, "I'm rich beyond my wildest dreams." And then it freezes, and the narrator comes in and says, "Okay."
The narrator, actual Robbie Williams
is like, "Okay, I thought I was quoting this famous clip in Britain of this one lady who just won the lottery, but I realized she said, spend, spend." They show the actual clips, like, spend, spend, spend is what she says when she, like, what are you going to do with all that money? And so no one got my joke. So I feel like an asshole. So you spent this whole movie just to be like, all right, I'm an asshole a lot. But I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah.
I was just like,
I kind of dig that. Yeah. It's just like, look, I know how this looked.
I didn't mean it like that. Like, I fucked up.
Yeah. Egg on my face. Egg on my
I'll take
face.
all the cocaine and not answering my mom.
Yeah.
I'll take that. But come on. I'm sorry about this one.
This was my fault.
Yes, exactly.
I'll answer for it.
Mm-hmm. And then he says, "I've said worse things on interviews," and cut to him having an interview. Someone comes up to him in like a press pool kind of thing. And like, "How does it feel like being out of take 5 or like being, you were someone who was in take that? How do you feel about that?" I know I keep saying take 5.
Love
it says take that on here, but for some reason keep saying take 5. Take 5's the gum, right?
I think that's 5 gum.
Yeah, it's the gum.
Yeah. Isn't Take 5 a famous jazz song?
I think it's a band. I think Take 5 is a band.
It's a famous band from Florida.
No, there's also another band. I was looking on Wikipedia while doing this. I think there is a band called Take 5 as well.
Okay.
Anyway.
So he's talking about, so you got out of Take That.
So it's like, how does it feel to be in Take That? And he says, "It feels good to be in Take That. It also feels good to be in 4 out of 5 Spice Girls." And then a reporter out the back says, "Posh said no, didn't she?" So he arrives home to he's at home, and his girlfriend arrives home. The fiance, now that I realize that.
Yeah. I can't believe they stuck together after that.
I know
shitty
all
shit
that stuff.
Yeah.
And but she finds a red nail on the bed with him.
A red nail?
Like a painted nail.
Oh.
Like not just like a nail for like a board.
Yeah, it was
like no.
That's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, no, like a red fake press-on nail or something on the bed. And he's in the bathroom, and she confronts him. I was like, "Robbie, there's a question." It cuts back to the Parky situation where it says, "What's it like for Robbie Williams to be in love?" And he's just like, "That's difficult." And during this moment, he says, "It makes the flings easier," he says as a joke. And then she's sitting down in this moment, and you see him in the bathroom, and you see her outside, and she sits down, and she's like, "I hate how small you make me feel."
Oh.
And I thought you couldn't help it, but I realized you do all this because you actually want to. It's not because you can't help it. And obviously she knows he's cheating and everything, and then she fucking throws the ring under the bathroom threshold into the bathroom. Yeah. During this whole time she's giving this whole speech to him, he's shooting up heroin.
Holy fucking shit!
He's shooting up heroin and passing out.
Oh my god!
And then he sees the ring, and he wakes up, and she's leaving, and he comes out, and he's like, "Oh, I could fix it." He comes out, and he just falls over the banister, and he just starts tripping out and falling through the banister.
Oh my god!
It's a weird trippy sequence of him landing.
Yeah. That sounds awesome.
And then it cuts to him being on this British show called Top of Pop, and he's like high on
Top
coke.
of the Pops.
Top of the Pops.
Yeah.
And he's high on coke. He gets high on coke, and he's ready to go perform on this place, Top of the Pops. Mm-hmm. And his mom calls. He's like, "Ah, fuck, I'm high on coke." Answers his phone. He answers the phone, and she's like,
"Grandma dead."
Yep.
I fucking knew it.
like, your mom kept asking for you, but she's gone now.
Oh shit! Kept asking for you, and she's also the only person that ever supported him when he was a
Exactly, like
little kid,
legitimately
too.
supported him,
Yeah.
even when he wasn't like trying to be famous or whatever.
Yeah, I kind of left a bit out because also she's a bore. But Grandma did say a lot of stuff to him, like because he kept saying like, I don't want to be a nobody. I don't want to be like I want to be famous or whatever. And she goes, it doesn't matter if you're famous. It doesn't matter. Like nobody's a nobody. She says to him. It's like that's a very sweet like
it's a
sentiment.
very nice thing to say.
Never took it to heart.
Never took it to heart. And then he like his face drops immediately, and then we cut to flashbacks of his non telling him a story. Who says like, telling him the story of King Arthur, and it's like, who gets the sword becomes the next king of England, and everyone's like, it's impossible. But everyone laughed when little scrawny King Arthur came up, except for Merlin. Merlin knew, and just stroked his beard, and it's like that's very relevant. Of like, Nano is new.
Yeah, she always knew that there's something special in him.
There's something about him. And then it's just this beautiful shot of him at the concert, and then it's like interspersed with him at the funeral, with everyone raining. And across the funeral, he's looking at the open not the open casket, but like the casket that's being dropped down.
Right.
And he sees just tons of fans on the other side.
That's awesome.
Other side of it, all like clamoring for him.
God damn, dude.
And he starts singing the song like Angels, and like even like his his ex-fiance, I assume at this point, is like at there, but she doesn't say anything to the funeral, and she walks out, and then the song like ends with him going to lay on the couch, and he lays down on the couch by himself, and in the reflection you see him laying down on his grandma.
Oh,
and I'm
my
just like, fuck.
God. Damn, dog.
It is like fucking
That's
crazy.
hard.
It is fucking crazy.
That's hard.
And then he I don't think it's weird because a fucking version of him pops up with like Sting makeup on the TV, and he just like loses it because it's like obviously negative self-talk. He just starts breaking everything in the house. And
yeah, that monkey
out.
goes crazy.
Monkey goes
bananas.
Crazy. He aped out.
That's right.
And the next day, his whole room's smashed, and like this fucking random guy, I didn't know who it was, but it's Nate. He appears, and he's like, "Oh, hey, what's up? How's it going? Are you're doing great up there?" Meanwhile, Robbie's in this kitchen, this big, massive mansion, and he's putting on a vacuum suit to like vacuum himself together to make his fatness become less. He's explaining this to Nate.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, "Yeah, you do it, and you do this once in the morning, and you're great when you're up there."
Mm-hmm.
And I fucking hate being up there, man. And then Nate's just like, "Hey, yeah, man, pays a good bit though, doesn't it?"
Yeah.
He's like, "You don't understand." And Nate's like, "Yeah, I don't, but I'm trying to."
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm about to walk out to 125,000 people. This is a big show, I think. The big show.
Yeah.
You don't even understand what it's like." Nate's like, "Okay, well, you don't understand that I don't have a partner anymore because you never talk to me anymore."
What? He got divorced?
I'm divorced and separated, and I only see my little girl only so often.
Oh.
And what I make in a month, you make in a fucking minute, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
struggling out here.
Yeah.
And Robbie's like,
I'm still coming out to hang out with you.
I'm still coming out to hang out. Robbie's like, you know what? The fucking difference is I had the fucking balls to make something of myself. That's the difference between us. And
Robbie, no one's arguing with you
yeah,
here.
I know. And then Nate's like, you bought a ticket to the dream, and it seems like the dream came true. And yeah, I'm jealous of that. But you can keep the fucking rest.
Oh.
And then he leaves, and Robbie's like pissed for a bit, and then he runs out after him, but he's too late. Nate's gone.
In the vacuum suit? Does he run out in the vacuum
No,
suit?
he takes out the vacuum suit and leaves. But yeah, so then Robbie's dad appears at the estate, and Robbie's hanging out. And he's just floating in like a pond on like a
on another vacuum suit.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of feels it's a vacuum, the opposite of vacuum, blown up like Raph. And he's hanging out in the estate, and he looks like he's dead and passed out. And so his dad's like, Robbie, it's the day.
Yeah.
Robbie? Oh, fuck me. And he starts like wading into the lake because he's like, fuck, Robbie's like OD'd or something, or something's going on.
Yeah.
And Robbie just starts laughing. He's like, I've been waiting my whole life for you to step up like that, because he looks ridiculous, like running around the water and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, only now because I booked the biggest concert.
Do you care
Yeah.
about me?
I was waiting for you to come home, Dad, and you only did because Non asked you to. And his dad's like, we're artists. Well, I do stuff like that. It doesn't matter. It's in our blood. I'd be happy if I'd play for just one person. I'd be absolutely happy. And he's like, yeah, I've been there for you. And Robbie Williams is like, you've been there for me. You were there for Robbie Williams. You were never there for Robert.
Ooh.
And that's why you never made it, Dad. And you don't have it.
This is the greatest show.
And he says, not as a husband, not as a father, not as anything. Peter Conway doesn't have it. At this point, his dad's turning around walking away.
Yeah. He's like, I don't deserve
And the
this.
helicopter's coming down to pick him up, and it's very stressful seeming. And then the narrator says, everything has come to this. And then it says, I'm going to die over this. And the doors open when it's like actually the curtains to the big stage, this massive stage with like, thousands of people.
Right.
And it reveals he's upside down like a cross kind of
heard
thing,
about this. Yeah.
in front of a massive crowd. And he says, turn on the lights. And he just falls down and like lands on the ground and says, so come on, let me entertain you. And he sings this whole song about that. And he starts, there's a huge crowd. He's killing it. He's doing great. But I started seeing monkeys in the crowd. A lot of monkeys in the crowd, including one skinless one. A bunch of creepy looking ones. A lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of no good doers out there.
Yeah, not a lot of good monkeys out there.
And so he sees this whole crowd of monkeys. There's so many of them. There's more monkeys than people at this point. And then he jumps in. He grabs his microphone and he jumps into the crowd and starts fucking murdering all the monkeys.
Holy
He starts
shit.
killing them all. And this is insane, by the way. This is like this is like Avengers level
like
fight
CG.
sequence.
Yeah.
It is so many monkeys. He's killing so many of them. And it's just insane. He's got this whole music going on. It's awesome. And
This is Ethan's favorite movie.
that's my favorite movie.
Yeah.
But it is
monkey on monkey.
It's very cool. He's just murdering all these other like self-talk of himself.
Yeah.
And then it ends with him killing a child ape.
Oh my god.
Which must be, I assume, a child himself.
Yeah.
I just thought it was him just killing a random ape kid because I didn't really fully process that as his
negative
own
self-talk.
negative self-talk. And he's just like kind of regrets it. He looks up and then he turns around and then the song says, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. And it's a mirror match with himself.
Oh shit.
And the monkeys completely mirroring his moves.
Right.
Exactly. So he like moves to the left, moves to the right. They do the exact same thing. So then he pulls out a knife and fucking slits his wrists.
Holy fuck!
Mm-hmm. So that's the only way to kill a self-talk. Kill yourself,
kill
dude.
yourself. Yeah, there you go. We
So
do not.
we do not
endorse that. Robbie Williams.
Robbie Williams, though.
Unless you're a bad monkey. If you're a bad monkey.
You're a bad monkey. If you're a bad monkey listening to this podcast, might be time to do some self-reflection. So he's on a frozen lake bleeding. The blood's going all over the frozen lake. And I think this is kind of relevant to that scene you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And he sings a song. He puts the razor to his wrist, and he's singing a song. It's all depressed. Send someone to love me. The whole song is. And then the sun just starts shining on himself, and he just kind of like has a moment of just like, "Fuck, dude, I'm so fucking sad." And he just rents a room, locks himself in it, and there's a montage of him detoxing, of him like crying, getting sick, throwing up, and he's just detoxing himself completely. Because he's just at the lowest of low. Like he's played the biggest show the whole of his career. And he's just so sad. He's just all he feels about is all this negative self-talk, and he can't battle it. He can't win. He just has to change himself. So he goes to whatever, the equivalent of Alcoholics Anonymous, like a drug rehab meeting type situation.
Got it.
And he's talking.
Monkeyholics Anonymous.
Yeah, and he's talking to everyone, and he's just like, I feel a bit stupid, to be honest. Like, I got everything I wanted.
Yeah.
And yet I'm here. I'm sad. I thought fame would fix me. I was taught that. I thought it would fix everything. And he says, then they say your life freezes when you become famous. So I'm 15.
Oh, like a frozen lake.
Yeah, like a frozen lake, yeah. I'm 15. I'm stunted, unevolved, like a monkey.
Like a monkey.
Monkeys
are not unevolved, by the way. They've evolved just separate from human beings.
But the metaphor, it's artsy. Yeah. Mr. Science Man. Well, actually, monkeys are different. They're not the same.
Just don't want weird, like, anti-evolutionists to go like, well, if we evolved from monkeys, why are monkeys still around?
Yeah. True, whatever. There's not for the metaphor. He's going to do a fucking weird pre-human person
He's a
running
Neanderthal
around.
instead
Neanderthal instead. Run around. Be like the Geico cavemen.
Ooga, you say booga, ooga, booga, ooga, booga.
That's what they should have done for the Geico cavemen movie. Should have done that.
That's right, yeah. The Geico caveman movie.
Didn't they make one of those? Or was it
No, they made a TV show.
TV show, is it?
Yeah, that's the very first thing that Nick Kroll was in.
Really?
He was one of the Geico cavemen, not in the original commercials, but in the TV show. Isn't that weird?
That's so weird. I had no idea.
You wouldn't because he had makeup on.
He had makeup on, yeah. But he's like, that's why it's fine for me. I think I'm okay with being a jerk because I'm like 15. I'm stunted.
Yeah.
The counselor says, like, this is very basic, but like the first thing we do usually in this is we try to repair our relationship so we have a support system. And so he starts singing to the broken mirror he has, and he starts shaving his head and cleaning himself up a bit.
I heard that this was the hardest shot for them to do because
shaving the hair.
Yeah, because it's real. Because they had to do a thing where like they had to match between different like lengths of hair, because they can't just like cut the hair of a CG ape, so they had to like match cut between different like ape models that had short hair. Basically, this was like the hardest shot.
Oh
for them
wow,
to do
that's a good point. Yeah, hair don't work like that.
But again, it's like also kind of impressive when you think about it, because you didn't even think about it.
No, I didn't
you're
think
just
about
like
that.
accepting a monkey shaving his head and singing in a mirror.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he knocks on a dude's door and leaves him a watermelon that says "sorry" with a dick carved on it.
Well, there you go.
So I think
now
that was that
why.
guy. I think that was Greg or whatever his name was.
Yeah, whatever. I can't remember.
He gets in someone else in a car with a beret he apologizes to. I don't recognize who they are. He visits Nate, apologizes to him and his daughter, and he sings a song that says, "Lord, I will grow through this. I'm doing all I can to be a better man."
Hey, that's the name of the movie.
That's the name of the movie. Yeah, he brings a TV over and some crisps to his non's grave and starts watching TV with her on the grave.
That's what they used to do together.
So, and then it says he's kind of at like a fundraiser gala thing. It's not really clear what he's at, but it's like a big stage, and a bunch of people in like fancy dresses, and you know it's a fancy seating where it's their tables instead of like seats, you know, where everyone's sitting.
And he starts singing about how they talk and talk and talk, but they're also supporting the drug cartel.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. So then he even like gives a ticket to his dad to show up at this fundraiser thing.
Oh, does he?
You'll see. And
I gotta know.
The narrator says, "So who is Robbie Williams?"
That's what I want to know.
That's what he says. And he says, "Sit back, relax. I'll tell the story." It starts with 4 people I care about, and you see the 3 pictures of the 3 famous people that he inspires to, and his dad's on there as well,
right?
Along with the other stars. And he's clearly done a bunch of singing. He says, "This is the last song of the evening." He says in front of everyone. His mom's there. He says, "I want to thank my mom for being there when I needed it." And starts clapping. Thanks a couple other people. His dad's waiting for his thank you. Who's there? Doesn't get one.
Hell yeah.
And then he starts singing "My Way."
Starts
singing fucking "My Way," dude.
Yeah.
The big one.
Yeah.
And
that's this. Well, actually, he is kind of thanking his dad because that's the song that the 2 of them used to sing together.
Well, then after a little bit, he sings for a bit, and he says, "I couldn't finish the show without talking about a single person. We haven't performed in years together. Please welcome to stage my dad."
Oh.
And then he says, and then his dad says, "What do you think we should do? Should we light him up?" And then
that's the thing that he used to say is light him up, and then they would comb their hair back.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
And so they do that, and then he starts singing the part where it's like, "I have regrets. I did what I had to do," that sort of part. And then it flashbacks to him as a kid singing the same song
with his dad
together, and he's like, "My dad, everyone," and then his dad leaves after he does a little bit of stint. And he says, "My dad, everyone," or at least that's what my mom told us. That little cheeky guy. His mom's like,
so
"Oh,
cheeky.
Robbie." And he starts seeing some monkeys in the crowd now.
But they're clapping for him.
Well, no, they kind of weren't pissed at him.
Uh-oh. He didn't get rid of the monkeys.
But then he keeps doing the performance, and then they start rising and respecting him. They respect him. He is alpha monkey.
These monkeys respect him now.
They respect this other monkey. He's alpha monkey, dude. These beta monkeys.
See these monkeys just nodding in respect.
Like, yeah. No, they stand up and so like yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And then when the song ends, he says, "Dan, this is your grandson singing, and I love you. I did it my way." And he looks at the kid version of himself, who's sitting in there.
Yeah.
And he says, the final quote in the movie says,
"Who did I love when I was a kid? I love Frank Sinatra. And I love my dad, and he's an entertainer. Shit, that's who I am. That feels good to me. I want to make the 12-year-old at my nan's watching TV on a Saturday night feeling safe. I wanted to make that same 12-year-old feel safe on stage. I'm a fucking entertainer. It might be cabaret, but it's a world-class cabaret, and I'm the fucking best at it. Fuck yourselves."
and I was like, great movie. No notes. Great ending. Then the movie ends.
Perfect film.
What a way to end.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
Like he's like
End of film.
Yeah, like he's like, "I'm still an asshole, But I know I'm an asshole, and I'm gonna not.
I'm gonna play it
I'm
up.
not gonna be a dickhead though, right?
I may be a fucker, but I ain't no cunt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. That's the moral of the movie.
That's pretty great.
It's a great ending.
I like this movie.
It's so good, dude.
It's really good.
I was blown away by how much I like this movie.
Me too.
Like, it has so many emotional beats to it. Like, everything played beautifully. The music, it's hard to describe the music, but the music is so perfectly done for every scene.
Yeah, like it's weird because again, like I've never heard anything Robbie Williams has ever
No.
made. So yeah, I hear this, I'm like, this guy is actually pretty good at writing songs. Like the
It's
lyrics
also-
are really good.
And it's just wild that it matches up with the movie so well. Like, these
Yeah.
are you know, like in a musical, it's like, oh, of course it matches up because that's the point.
right.
But like, these are written
Don't-
otherwise,
Yeah.
and they just use them for this, and it fits so perfectly.
These are like notes in his life that they're like
Yeah.
matching up with perfectly. Yeah.
And it's all because that one songwriter was like, you need to write from your heart, man. All the shit's
And
not
it
gonna
worked.
matter unless you do that.
I like it. I like this movie unabashedly. I think this movie rocks.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I was so
People need to watch this film.
so
and
sh-
that's the thing, is like we really can't describe like it is a movie about a CG monkey going around and singing as a British pop star and being an asshole, and it's pretty awesome.
It works so well, and it's just in the end, it's just like it's kind of your standard biopic, you know.
Totally
but he
is.
learns some lessons, and you see he's so fucking relatable in so
he's an
many
asshole.
ways.
Like he actually is, and he's an asshole, but he understands like he's hurting people. You know?
Yeah, and I
Like,
think that's the difference is between this and like Complete Unknown, where it's like he's an asshole. He doesn't learn a lesson about being an asshole really at
Yeah.
all.
yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, not
Doesn't seem
really,
like
no.
He does. He's just kind of like, yep, that's
He's
my
like, well,
life.
that's the way it was.
That's the way it was back then.
Yeah, whereas he's just like, yeah, I was a real big dick, and yeah.
There's actually like character growth in this and character change.
Yeah,
like
and
dramatic
regret.
and regret and
Yeah.
feelings and relatability. Even if something like that's the thing is like,
and pizzazz.
yeah, and like you see so many times the movie of like, oh, I'm fucking sad because I'm famous, and it's like you don't really get why, but like this
Yeah.
movie really explains why because it's such a
Yeah.
common trope.
Yeah.
Fame doesn't bring happiness, but
Yeah.
like we all know that trope. But this movie really makes it relatable
Yeah.
in
Well,
a way that you know us lesser famous people would understand.
it does a good job of using, I think, a lot of like therapy ideals of like depression, of
Mhm.
negative self-talk, of like having a younger version of yourself seeing where you are now. Like I think like all of that ends up actually working in a very humanizing way.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree.
Humanizing way despite being a monkey.
Beside being a monkey, exactly.
Still works.
It really does. Shockingly. Honestly, it is
yeah.
kind of a minor miracle that this movie worked as well as it did. Kind of a shame it's a massive flop.
Huge shame. Like it
Yeah.
makes me so bummed it didn't get like any Oscar recognition.
I think it
or
got nominated for like best like visual effects.
maybe did it?
Didn't it?
I don't think it did.
Why don't you look it up?
I'll look it up. You take it out.
Guys, why don't you email us? Email at theotherhalfpodcast.com. Let us know what is your favorite Robbie Williams songs. We know
It did. You're right.
Thank you. I know that quite a bit of you are from Britain and are old ladies, so I'm sure you really like Robbie Williams. You can also find us on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We are on Blue Sky, and also we're on Discord. Check us out on Discord. And if you want to listen to any of our previous episodes, you can, including our Complete Unknown episode, you can find them on any podcatching app. And while you're there, please leave a 5-star rating and review. We will read it in the show, no matter what it says, even if it is monkey speak.
Monkey speak?
Monkey speak. You know, I feel like if
I can
like,
read that.
if you put a bunch of monkeys in a room with typewriters for an infinite amount of time and an infinite amount of monkeys, they'd probably write the works of Robbie Williams.
Probably
Given
yes.
the time.
Be
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. What was your favorite song in the movie?
I don't remember a single damn
Me neither.
song
Good
name.
night, everybody.